What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Man, Shelby here. Thank you for taking time out to watch this webinar. Thank you for taking time to join in. I appreciate that. But as you can tell, this is what the topic is going to be about: social selling engines, and we are going to take a deep dive into the mechanics behind modern sales. And believe it or not, a lot has changed, and a lot of people are not ready or haven't even thought about being ready for something like this. So let me go ahead and open with the harsh truth for you guys. Revenue has already moved, and this is the kind of permission that wasn't even asked for. So this was done quietly and decisively, without waiting for most companies to even notice, as I was saying before. And if you think about it, we're still polishing websites, we're still perfecting all our funnels. And we're still even asking our clients, our buyers out here to click here, wait till it loads. Oh, just wait for a second. Okay, now I need you to think. Did you think about it? Okay, good. But here's the thing about behind all this. The buyer has already made the call. And it wasn't on your website. It was in the news feeds. And that moment right there is the shift. This is the shift where we see we don't worry about the funnels anymore. We're going to start worrying about the social feeds. And as of today, discovery, trust, buying decisions ignite inside social platforms. That means inside those scrolling moments, inside the content ecosystems designed to reward relevance and punish friction. Believe it or not, 78% of top performing representatives for these companies are not chasing traffic or form fills. They are sourcing deals directly from social feeds through conversations. And this is something everybody wants. It's just a regular old conversation. And social selling is not louder posting. It's disciplined. It's disciplined. It's data driven. It's one to many relationship building that turns attention into pipeline without forcing buyers to exit the environment where trust is already forming. And a lot of us have already been through that. A lot of us have gone through our DMs or text messages, and they seemingly and subtly ask you, hey, can we go over to this platform where we can finish talking about this? Why? We already started building trust on this one. Watch out for that. Just watch out for that. So, here we go. Here is where we start to begin to see the brain of the buyer become rewired. And you have to realize that the algorithms did not just change distribution. What they did was they reshaped behavior. And the modern buyer is conditioned for relevance on demand or proof of sight, for lack of better terms. And obviously, the emotional payoff, which they're going to want fairly quickly. And this dopamine that's been sent out like this has trained the attention. This speed that's been given out like this has trained the expectations. And you see this now because every post now faces three silent tests. They're literally three silent tests within milliseconds of a person seeing it. And that's first the scroll stop. Did your post, your video, your caption, was there enough hook in there to make them stop and earn your attention? Because if not, you just lost their attention. The second one is the curiosity click. They're either interested in what it is that you're saying or what it is that they're reading from your content, and that either is going to light that spark or the spark is just going to fizzle out. And finally, you have the trust snap, which is where belief begins to form, or you're just going to be erased from the mind. Now, if content fails, if in any of these metrics that I've just mentioned, the brain does not negotiate. The brain is simply going to move straight on. And this is why social proof, speed, and personalization are no longer upgrades. They are going to be survival mechanics. So, this let's talk about the gatekeepers of the algorithm, right? And you have to the gatekeepers out there watching this, you guys know, and now I'm going to spill this secret out to the people, is that reach is not magic. It is all about math. And every single platform grades content using the same fundamentals such as early engagement, dwell time, saves, returned visits, and that content that sparks real conversation with the right audience is going to win. It's not going to be vanity likes, it's going to be dialogue. Not only that, when your ideal customer, right? Your ideal customer profile, they engage early, the algorithm amplifies on your behalf. You build a warm audience before spending a dollar. The algorithm is not blocking you here, okay? It's really just giving you an audition to see if you qualify to get up on that stage and really act out your script that you got there. And when you pass, it becomes your first sales manager. So, as you can see here, this is what we like to call the native commerce layers. This is where friction is a tax on the revenue. Every click bleeds intent. Platforms understand this, major corporations understand this, and this is why they are becoming marketplaces and not just media channels. Like, for instance, we have Instagram shops, the Instagram shop tabs. You can tag your product in your post nowadays, and it'll take you straight to the checkout. You have TikTok product cards where they pop up when you're scrolling through TikTok, or you have the TikTok live shopping channels now. Let's not forget about LinkedIn lead generation forms. When pricing, catalog data, and booking live natively, the buyer will never leave the feed at all. They in that leaky middle of the funnel that you have going on there, that's just going to collapse. That's going to fall right in front of your eyes and you won't even notice it. And the fastest deal that's going to get done is the one that never asks the buyer to work harder. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have noticed that. So let's go ahead and talk about these dark social signals. And because this is where the real intent hides. This right here, what you're seeing, this is where the real intent hides. You have private shares, DMs, direct messages, forwarded posts, story replies. Uh, this whole dark signal, these dark signals that we get from the social media, is invisible to old analytics, but priceless to revenue teams. So, in other words, let's say, for instance, someone on your team uses a trackable link, a UTM, and the CRM integrations are embedded. When all of that is embedded correctly, your team now has access to those private actions and are now able to turn those actions into a scored pipeline of events. Hey, this person shared this. This seems to be resonating pretty well with with our clients. This seems to be resonating pretty well with our, what's another word, for our audience. And that in that moment, let's say for instance, in that moment, someone does forward your post. A rep is going to know. And when they see that forwarded, they are going to move. And if you're not having a rep do it and you're switching over to AI content, the AI is going to do it for you. And minutes from these interactions are going to be the difference between momentum and missed revenue. So, and this is something this is very intricate here because problem first storytelling, where winning content doesn't start with features, it starts with the pain. This tends to be the best performing post because it follows a familiar human arc. First, it's the pain. You identify the pain, what's causing them issues in their business. Then by you quantifying it, shows them what it's going to cost them if they continue to ignore that pain. Now, from there, you have to be able to show what life looks like after the change. Prove that it's real, because only when the solution begins to appear is when people will start to get drawn more into it. When the reader recognizes themselves before seeing your product, trust forms naturally. The dwell time begins to climb. The time that they sit on your content, they watch your videos, read your captions, read your posts, look at your images, that time will now begin to expand a little bit longer. And those saves that they do on the TikTok, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, those will begin to multiply. And then from there, the belief that you're protruding, that energy that you're giving out, that belief, that's going to begin to compound. Now, when it comes to tracking, I believe it's best to have proof by stacking tactics. In other words, let's say you have a testimonial from one of your clients. That one testimonial, that's going to fade out faster than anything else that you can ever imagine. But a wall of proof, a literal wall of proof, is going to stop the scroll. That means you can use screenshots, you can use comment threads, you can use recommendations, you can use short client videos. All of that stacked together, the comment section that you have now becomes a live due diligence library. And buyers are no longer going to ask for references because they investigate everything publicly now. So let's go on and move into the physics behind your call to actions. And I gotta be honest with you. A lot of people leave their clients confused when it comes to their CTAs. And confusion kills conversions. When you really take a step back, all high performing CTAs obey physics and not hype. There's going to be a clear action, a specific outcome, and in a defined time window. So the placement here is going to what's going to matter. And you can deal with the first comment. That first comment could be a pinned reply, or you can auto DM. Now, the teams that standardize a single CTA framework, believe it or not, these folks literally outperform teams who just experiment constantly. And that's really due to clarity beating cleverness every single time. So now we have the CRM fusion from socials. Now we all know sense of urgency. For those who've been in sales, those who've been in marketing, we know sense of urgency. We know that speed closes deals. We also know that friction kills time, because the longer you sit in there arguing back and forth with your client or your customer, you're just wasting your own time and them and your deal. And from the social aspect, the online aspect, the whole old copy and paste method, I believe now that's going to become a silent sabotage. Because when profile data, message history, and last touch content flow directly into, let's say, a platform like Salesforce or HubSpot or MailerLite or MailChimp or Klaviyo or Apollo or something like that, the intent stays hot. The leads are automatically going to be scored. And that task, those are going to start to trigger instantly, and revenue becomes traceable. So in other words, you won't have to deal with spreadsheets, you won't have to deal with delays, you won't have to deal with excuses or anything else like that. So here we have the 531 social selling cadence, and this is pretty much this is a multi-touch sequencing. And believe it or not, a sequence builds pipelines. Yes, we're on an episode of Ripley's right now, because believe it or not, sequences builds pipelines. And it's always going to be the 5 value based comments on their content, excuse me. From there, let's say you have, after you make these comments on these prospects' content, you then have 3 personalized connection assets for each one of them. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to use all assets. You're just going to use what their pain is, and you're going to use your asset to heal that pain that they have. because one conversion post that tags them directly is going to get them directly to your call to action. And this is scale without sacrificing any respect whatsoever. Whatsoever. And this is where the deal velocity is going to end up being a lever for you guys. Because buying committees, they seem to slow everything down. You've seen it, I've seen it. Probably the guy up the street who knows nothing about this kind of niche probably seen it themselves and just doesn't know what to name it. And you have to realize that public proof accelerates alignment. So let's say you tag multiple stakeholders in a success story. You host live demo threads where objections surface in daylight. You drop competitor comparisons before they even ask. This shows that you do not debate behind closed doors. You preempt in public. Approval cycles shrink from months to weeks, from weeks to days, from days to hours, from hours to minutes. Let's move on to the next slide, shall we? So let's talk about the representative to revenue model. And this is a little bit more simpler than it actually looks here, right? So you let me make this clear for a lot of people because I see a lot of people do this. You have to realize that hope does not close deals. Math does. And from there, your connections plus the comments plus the posts multiplied by conversion rate, that's what equals sales qualified leads. From that equation, quota becomes predictable, territory sizing becomes logical, hiring timelines become defendable. In other words, social behavior turns into a revenue engine leadership can start planning around. Now we have content atomization. And this is probably a fun one for a lot of us because this is something you see a lot of us speak on online all the time. Take that long form and turn it into 10 short form repurposed content platform. Take that long form content that you have and turn it into 10 short form purpose content. 10 short form repurposed content. Try saying that. That's a mouthful right there. You know, that long form video that turns into a short reel or to a short clip. That clip then gets turned into a story or a poll. That poll then becomes a testimonial or a quote. And each derivative has a channel from there. Each derivative has a cadence. Each derivative has a KPI. And production costs will spread across the funnel. And the content that you have starts working harder than the people that you have working for you. And this is where the dashboard metrics come in because once you start reading your live dashboard metrics and realize only a handful of metrics actually correlate to closed revenue. That would be things like social source pipeline percentages, DM to meeting conversions, content assisted close rate, time to reply. Uh, I honestly believe here that time to reply that depends on which kind of platform you're using to actually reply. Let's say, for instance, you have DMs. Your DMs are blowing up. I would say 15 minutes tops. Phone call, you missed a phone call, 15 minutes tops. Email, I would say anywhere between 24 and 48 hours in order to reply back to that email. And you even have the multi-stakeholder engagement depth as well. I don't. Let's not forget about that because when these update in real time, reps get alerted before a deal even stalls, and that revenue becomes visible and not mythical. So after all this, we are now here to the last slide. You have to realize that these next edge tactics, these are going to be able to show you that these platforms are going to be evolving daily. And revenue teams, the teams that you guys already have, must evolve even faster. That means AI powered personalized video replies, platform native marketplaces, zero click content that qualifies buyer before they even know where to land anymore or anywhere. And the future that you guys are creating is going to belong to your teams that budget for experimentations. Because when you really look at it, social selling is not a tactic, it's literally an engine. And engines either scale or they stall out. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this webinar. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to check out the website. If anything else, you guys already know what to do. You guys have any questions, hit me up in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Not only that, if you do have any serious questions or you need something done, send me an email. All my contact information is down below in the description. All right. With that being said, y'all, deuces. This your man Shelby. I'm out, and y'all be easy.